Hey everyone, welcome to today's blog. Today's blog is interesting. Today's blog is going to be more on OneNote application. OneNote is basically an application from the house of Microsoft, which gives you the flexibility of taking down your notes, and it's basically an application which is completely bundle of things where you can put audio lessons, you can put text, you can put voiceovers, you can put pictures, graphics, you can do text highlighting, you can do sectioning of the page. It's basically how it works is OneNote, you create a notebook and then you decide whether you are working single-handedly on that same machine every time on that notebook, or it is like you are going to share with 2, 3, 4 people who are going to keep on adding notes into that. So if it is something where 2, 3 people are going to add the notes, then it is going to be like, so what happens is you start deciding whether you want to share the notebook or you want to keep the notebook in the same PC. So when you say in the same PC, you store that notebook in a particular file in a particular format, and then you save it, and then when you create that notebook, the notebook gets created with the default sections or sections in the sense, one which contains planning, one which contains your some XYZ notes, which is basically a demo. Now the next thing that you are going to do is add a section of yourself, going to the sectioning tab and then add a section, and then go to the point, and then once the section is added, you can decide the section name, the color of that section, whichever color you want to use to identify which section is that, and then you will open that section, and then that section will have a default page, because every section is get created with one page which you can start working. And then on the right hand side of your window, you will find you can have the tabs to work out, and then you can start adding pages. Say for example, you are writing some notes, so you have page 1, and on that page you have a note. Today is 1st March. You created the section of a particular subject, and then you have a notepad or you have a notebook, and you says 1st March. Now 2nd March you will add another page for 2nd March. 3rd March you will have another page for 3rd March. 4th March, 5th March. Say 2 days you did not work out on that, so the 2 pages will not be there. So all you can do is, in your planner, the page which will come as a planner, you can utilize that, you can convert that, and you can say 1st to 4th I will work, 5th, 6th is not working, so you can mention in the planner. So what happens is, when you see the exact column of that and you say, oh, why there is 2 dates missing, that reason is because you will identify that you haven't worked on that and it is affecting. So here let's continue. So that's how you will add that. So if you're going in a planner and you can see whatever you have planned, you have mentioned, and then you can follow the same pattern in your section. Now the section is basically one notebook. You are dividing into number of sections. But if that is compared with a traditional method, what happens is, in your traditional method you will not have that much space in a notebook that you can divide it for 3 or 4 different sections, and of course the same pattern for mentioning the date, the lecture, the topic, the professor name and everything. What happens is, if you put all this information on the planner, and on the top of the page you will have the date and the time when you are creating. That's a default one because it takes from your system. But what you are not getting is the heading. You put the heading, you have the timestamp already, so you can go ahead and you can work out on that, and then you can use that application in a simple way. Now there has been some rumors about OneNote, which says OneNote is discontinuing, Microsoft is putting it down. So as of now, whatever I have done a Google research, Google says, or Microsoft says, there is no plan that they are discontinuing that. Yes, you might not get, but a good thing, OneNote is an application where it is available in all the platforms. So if you are a Windows user, if you are a Mac user, if you are an Android user, if you are an iOS user, there is no headache. If you are an iOS user, you will get your you will get the OneNote application on App Store. If you are a Windows Android user, you will get it on Google Play. If you are a Windows user, you can, and if you are a Windows 10 user, you will get it, the application from Microsoft Store. You can go and you can directly download and install it, and then you can have a Microsoft account whereby you can sync your data with your notebook and with your mobile. So whatever work you are doing in your PC, it will automatically get synced on the device, so that you can use it in both way. One more thing I want to tell you is, say if you decide to create a notebook which is shareable, which means you are sharing that notebook with one of your friend or two of your friends. Say for example, during your exam days, you 3 or 4 people, 4 of you becomes a team and then start studying together. Now that's a good advantage and that's a good idea of doing that. Now what happens is, in that case, instead of creating a notebook which will be run on the self machine or on your local machine, you can create a notebook which will work and which can be shareable with everybody. Then what happens, you can share the link, you will get a link which will be generated like a shareable link, and then you can share that link with other team members of yours, and you can tell them like they can use that notebook. Now what happens is, there will be 4 members using that notebook, and each will be adding some or other topics. Now you might raise a question and say, how can it be possible, so that if 4 members are sharing one notebook, they will add information, then how we will come to know who has added which? Now the idea of sharing a notebook is like, you don't want to get, or you don't want to miss out with some information which you don't have. Now the easiest way of doing that is, when you put some content on a page, make sure you put your name and then you start putting your content. So if you're putting something on your planner page, put your name and then complete plan, and then let your friend put that plan. So what happens is, in that case, even the duplicacy happens, you will not be worried, because the duplicacy will not affect anything, because you have mentioned, your friend has mentioned. So both of your work will be synchronized, and then everybody knows what you have, what you are planning and what they are planning. So what happens is, you can have one call meeting or one conference meeting, and you can decide, look, I am putting this, I am working on these points. So you can mention some 5 points. So if you are working on these 5 points, then the next person who was supposed to work on these 5 points will say, okay, then I will start from 6 to 10. Say for example, you are starting from 1 to 5, and then he says, I will start from 6 to 10. The other will say, I will start from so like that way, if you have 20 points, each one is working on 5 points. So 5 into 4, 20. So 4 members working on all the 5 points, and then what happened, as soon as you start finishing your first 5 points, work out, block it, and then the next person will start adding that, and then at the end what happens is, you compile all the information, put it together and club it, and then start sharing. So what happens is, in that way you save a lot of time, because you are only focusing on the 5 questions or the 5 topic, rather than focusing on the all topic. But example that I give, all those who are taking the note whole through the year can use this technique, because people who are always taking note and blocking the note every day, they are putting the note into the OneNote, you can do that. So say for example, if today you are working on accounts or something and you are unable to do it, if your friend is free, ask your friend to push those notes and share your points in a bullet points system kind of thing, or whatever you have taken, just scan it and push it to him and say, look, this is what I have noted down as of my attendance, whatever you have extra, add it, and then combine whole thing and put it into this, and then at night you discuss, okay, these things happened, these are the things missed out. So if you have some images to do it, you can put that images, some highlighting, alignment and everything. So distribute the work among yourself, and then this application is going to help you a lot. Now this application is especially for students. Now The ideal scenario for this is not one application compulsory that you will have to use this application for every purpose. No, it can be an alternative application. There are 5 or 6 alternative application to this, but then the difference between them and OneNote is they are the pretty simple note taking application. You don't get these sections, you don't get these devices, this everything. You just get a header, you just keep adding pages, and then you keep adding information. So it's just a normal, like a text pad, like your notebook, where you put the heading, you underline it, and then you start writing. So in italics if you want, then you do your cursive one and all, but in system you can do that one. So that's the whole thing of it. Now that's pretty much for today's blog, students. This blog is going to give you a complete next series of things. Now the next part of this blog, which is coming in 2 days from now, or in 2 days from now, which is on Tuesday evening, will tell you about the alternative softwares for OneNote application. So all those who says you need a very simple and minimalistic application just to put down your notes digitally, so that you will get rid of that huge pile of papers, I have the solutions for you. I'm going to put that solution for you on your systems, and the good thing is I will put those applications where you have in Windows as well as you have a Android application. So all those who are using Android, I will tell about them. All those who are using Mac and iOS, don't worry, these applications are also applicable for you. But in my next blog, I'm just going to talk about 1 or 2 out of that 6 applications, and I'm going to tell them how it is beneficial and how it can be useful to you all. I hope you will understand this. These are the blogs that I'm making especially for students who will get help, who are at college level, who are at intermediate level, who are at school level, who are using these applications to make notes, to make their work easier. Even if you're doing a project, a research work, you can use these applications to keep your data safe and sound, because you generate a huge pile of data. So in the comment section, if you have any, even my email is on the description. If any of you have any query, you can push me the query, I will answer it. Visit my Facebook page, my Twitter account, post your questions, post your queries. I will answer each and every query. Thank you for watching. So thank you for watching today's blog. I hope you will like this blog.